I'm Councillor Pam Morrison, and I have the honour and the privilege of being Mayor of Harwich.
And I'm Councillor Gary Calver, again he's a Harwich Town Councillor.
How has Harwich's maritime heritage shaped the town's identity over the centuries?
Well, quite simply, totally is the answer to that. From the moment that a storm created Harwich Harbour, round about 1100, Harwich Harbour became the only safe haven between the Humber and the Thames. So from there on, it's become incredibly important, both for trade and naval purposes.
Real significance in this room would be this part here. We'll get Gary to talk through some of this. In particular, we're looking at the date, which is 1777. We have a coiled timber rattlesnake and this beautiful ship here with the stripes on the flag. And whenever we give tours in here with Americans and we say about the coiled rattlesnake, Gary, what do they say to us?
They all chant, don't stand
on me.
What are some of the most significant historical events that have took place in Harwich?
Again, mainly naval. The first one of real note would have probably been in 1340, when Edward III was about to embark on the 100 Years' War and wanted to secure the lower North Sea to enable safe passage for provisions and troops when he began his military campaign. So the precursor to the 100 Years' War was a major sea battle in 1340 called the Battle of Sluis, where Edward III destroyed the French fleet. It was an incredibly bloody encounter with 29,000 killed, but that secured the lower North Sea for the British troops. And the English fleet actually gathered in Harwich prior to sailing for Sluis, and Edward III sailed at the head of that fleet from Harwich.
Are there any local traditions or festivals that celebrate Harwich's history and community spirit?
One which is particularly interesting, which will be on Mayor-making Day. I don't know if you've ever attended.
I don't think I have, no.
No, is it not from school?
No.
Okay.
I might have done when I was in primary school.
Yeah, would be from primary school. So one of the traditions that we have a full civic service when you become mayor.
Yeah.
Obviously in the chamber where we've been this morning. And we have a full council meeting where you're elected.
Yeah.
And then we process over to St Nicholas Church.
Yeah.
We come, and children are always invited to that. And then the mayor, the deputy mayor, and the high steward will come back into the building, and from the windows in the Guildhall would throw kitchels out the window. You do that, yes. And there would be all your guests, and there would be the children from the schools, mainly the primary schools.
Yeah.
And that goes, we're not sure how far that goes back, but it's sort of significant of...
It's centuries.
Centuries, and it's significant of sort of the mayor feeding the children of the town.
Yeah.
So, and they're like sort of hot, long fingers, sort of like almost like a hot cross bun.
Yeah.
And they were literally just thrown out of the window, and everybody would gather those up. And then we still go to each of the primary schools and hand them out to the children there who've not attended the ceremony. So that's one of the ceremonies we have.
What steps are being taken to preserve Harwich's historic landmarks and promote them to future generations?
In this very room, there's a chair, isn't there?
Yes.
It's probably just behind me, is it?
Yes, it is, yeah.
Now, that chair was the chair that used to be sat in by a very significant man called Leonard Weaver. And he arrived at the local grammar school in 1927 to teach history. And he stayed there at that one school for his entire career. He retired in 1972, and he taught history to countless generations of Harwich people, and was the most inspirational teacher you could ever wish for. He taught me for 3 years before he retired. And Len, known to everyone as Pot Weaver, was a local councillor. He was the last mayor of the borough. He was an alderman of the borough. He instilled a love of history into thousands upon thousands of children. He wrote what is the Bible of Harwich history, called the Harwich Story, and he sat in that chair to write it, which is why that's been preserved and kept in this far. And basically, he just instilled a love of history into everybody he taught.
Yeah.
Now, in 1969, he was a founder member of something called the Harwich Society,
Yeah.
which is now the biggest historical society anywhere in the east of England. It's got over 2,000 members, more than Cambridge or Norwich or anywhere like that. And basically that maintains and preserves a lot of the historical buildings in Harwich,
Yeah.
and opens them as visitor attractions, and also sort of lobbies on behalf of all of the historic requirements
Yeah.
within historic Harwich, as does Harwich Town Council. We know how important the history is. To be blunt, our history is also our economic future.
Yes.
In terms of historic tourism and the like, we get a lot of visitors who come to Harwich because of its history, and the more we can do to preserve and promote it, the more those visitors will come.